Yo, what's going on? It is your host, Lamar Robinson, and welcome back to another edition of Live with Lamar. It's almost Friday! Yes, sir. And it's almost Halloween weekend. If you must know, Halloween is definitely one of my favorite holidays for those I have not told. So I'm excited, very excited. But here's the problem. I still don't know what I'm dressing up as Saturday. Like, I've been thinking, I just been busy with all this other stuff. I have not decided what I'll be dressing up as this weekend. So I'm still open for suggestions, so help your boy out. But before we even get there, we're here with another edition, of course. And I have another special guest who will be coming through with your boy and going live to talk about her project. She got a lot going on. She got her own little lingerie line. She got her own little sex podcast and other things. She be talking about some little raunchy grown people stuff on there. But she on here. She here with your boy. And we're going to dive in deep and just kind of pick her brain a little bit and talk about sex. Let's talk about sex, baby. And let's talk about you and me. All right, I'm going to invite her in. Don't laugh at my singing, my vocals, because I can't sing for real. But if I could sing, it would be a whole nother story. And not to give me the blessing to sing, because if y'all think I'm a problem now, you're...
Hi. I just want to say, even if you could sing, you can't sing that song.
Wow. That's how we playing it now?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that song? Why can't I sing that song?
Because you can sing, period.
So that's what we come. We gonna come on my show and shade me? That's what we doing? Look at you. Drink the White Claw. Drink the White Claw. You welcome. Let us know who put you on the White Claws. Who put you on the White Claws?
I guess you did. I guess.
Yes, I did. What's that, mango flavor in your hand?
Pineapple. I don't like mango.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Oops. See how much I pay attention, right?
Yeah. Sarah, that's my baby.
Okay. What's up, Sarah? My boy Tez in here. I see Larry in here. My boy Sean. Thank y'all for joining. But Dstany, thank you for joining, more importantly.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you on here. What's up, Rondo? Today... Today we're here to talk about your podcast. You have a podcast.
We are.
Called Horology. Very
I do.
Very, I ain't gonna say explicit, but very open, as I like to describe it. And since I've known you, you know, you kind of opened my mind to a lot of different avenues, a lot of different things, and we've had some dope conversations that led me wanting to invite you on the show. So one of my very first questions for you is this. Why a podcast about sex?
Well, honestly, I think it's such a big topic for me because, you know, I think a lot of my friends will describe me as the carefree friend, like the open friend. Like I just say whatever because I'm honest, I'm blunt, like I'm very like logical, rational. And sex is one of those things where it's like everyone is doing it. Like we're all doing it. I have a friend that's a virgin. She's not doing it, but she's very educated on the subject. So like, you don't have to be having sex to know about sex, but it's like a thing that's like a common denominator for everyone in some aspect. So to me, the idea was just basically like, I want to talk about something that I know people ask me questions about. I know people have these questions. So why not be that middle ground from between, you know, never knowing and what you Google, which is like the total opposite end of the spectrum. So that's why I wanted to kind of be that middle platform.
Why do you think people, so that you said a good point. I feel like a lot of people like shy away or act embarrassed about something that we know we're all doing. Like, why do you think people act so like weird when it comes to like sex, like anything sex? Like they act strange.
I think it's honestly society. Like society tells you that, you know, it's, or she's a hoe, or she's this, or she's that, or he's this, or he's that, or, you know, like anything involved with sex, it's like the total, just wildest thing that you can think of. Like they're going to put you down for it. Now, like I said, we all are doing it, but yet it's deemed as bad. It's just taboo. Like we're all doing it, but we're all terrible people because we're doing it. That doesn't make sense. So I think that's why people, you know, are scared to ask out loud. So they might ask their friends, or they might not, or they just might assume, which I don't like, but they might just assume something instead of asking. So I'm trying to put it out there before you even have to ask, so you can say, oh, well, I always wanted to know that, but I never wanted to say anything. Like, it's okay. I'm going to say it for you.
I'm gonna say it for you. You ain't gonna say it. It's like white chick.
Exactly.
You were saying it, but you were thinking it, but you said it. We ain't doing
Literally. And
we ain't doing
that's
it.
the whole point of my podcast is I'm saying it because I know that you were thinking it.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's how it goes. How long have you had your podcast?
so I've had it almost a year now because I had started last September with my friend and then she got married and her fiance didn't want her, putting their business out there, which is understandable. So then she left and then I just kept it by myself. So
And now you're a year later, and business is booming. I'm sure it is.
oh my God, like I just got featured in an article. Shout out to my friend Lola because she set up the alley-oop, as I like to say.
Right?
She recommended me to be featured in this magazine article for Best Sex Podcast, and the girl listened to it and she loved it. She was like, "Oh my God, yes! Like, can I get a quote from you?" I was like, "Me?"
Little old me.
Mind you, like earlier this year, my lingerie company got featured in a magazine. Like, I was just like, "This is like crazy."
So, how do your parents feel about you having their parents know about your sex podcast?
Oh yes, my
How,
parents know everything. I'm very
how do
honest
they
with
feel
them.
about it? Your dad okay? Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say he's not okay with it, but like, did they have any like beginning thoughts when they found you were creating a sex podcast?
So my dad, I really don't know his opinion, but my mom has been supportive from the beginning. She is like I posted on Facebook like I'm a because that's where everyone's family is on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter is like the raunchiness.
A whole nother topic.
So I posted on there. I'm like, I'm coming out with the sex podcast. I'm grown. Like, y'all don't play stupid. And my mom was like, who said something to you? Because if they said something to you, let me know and I will get them together. And I was like, thanks, mom.
Okay, mama.
Right. So, and I mean, growing up, my mom was always very straightforward. I mean, her favorite thing to say to us if we had a boyfriend was pussy ain't free. Like, don't be laying on your back and a man is making you cry and you're not getting anything from it. So she's been very supportive with everything. Even my lingerie, she promotes that on her Instagram. So she's very here for it.
And it's funny you say the whole thing that pussy ain't free because I feel like women nowadays. Let me rephrase that. A lot of our women in media, all of our entertainers, our rappers, they are like preaching that from Meg to City Girls to Mulatto. Like they're like, hey, if you want this pussy, you better swipe. You better come up with this about this too. How does this big women empowerment affect you, and how does it make you feel? I guess we call it women empowerment because it is. It's about getting rid of that standard, that double standard.
Yes.
And I think over the past couple of years, I've kind of got rid of that, and also just being involved with you has taught me just to kind of whatever. I think has just taught me to just see things a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like a lot of things that men enjoy and men want to do, females enjoy too, but they get shamed for it.
Yes.
Nobody
And
wants
that
to. So how
that
do
is
you
a
deal with that
whole
barrier?
Oh my God. I literally had to address this I had an episode about OnlyFans. I don't have an OnlyFans, working on it. But
If you need somebody, let me know.
period. But I had an episode because I was like, so many men were bashing girls for starting OnlyFans. Like, y'all don't watch porn every single day. Like, what? And they're like, yeah, but porn is free and I ain't paying for it. Do you know how clickbait works? You click on that video, they get a penny. They get $5 for every click. So how do you think these actors are getting paid? Like, I'm here for the women taking over and doing what men have been doing and what men have been profiting for. And now women are like, we can do it too. And we're going to do it and we're going to get paid for it. And I think that culture of women can do it too and stand on it is really helping a lot more women be comfortable with their sexuality and be comfortable coming out and saying, I want to try this, or I like doing this, or I don't like doing this. And that's okay because now there's more women to support you. Like, girl, you never done that. Like, for example, anal. Like, Black women have been known to not do it, right? It's like a stigma or stereotype. Black girls don't do anal. Like, that's why I like white girls, because white girls let you put it anywhere. That's the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Please, like, please. That's such a false stigma, false like stereotype. And I think that the women in music specifically are helping to break down those stereotypes.
I can appreciate it. Like I said, I enjoy like the past couple years have been a whole different mindset. And I've talked to a lot of my boys about it, just kind of give them that other side of it, especially like, hey, like I know in high school or college, we thought this way, but as years go on, you kind of get a different mindset because one thing I will say is this. A lot of things that a lot of men say they wouldn't do, they do now. From eating pussy to eating
Yes.
ass. And I feel like sex is only fun if you have an open mind. You have to be willing to try.
Yes.
Now, I mean, there's some things I would not try, but there's a lot of things that I probably say I wouldn't that I do now. So it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's just about being open to trying because it gets boring. And I think that's why
Yeah.
people end up like kind of like stepping out and going elsewhere because sets get boring. We're doing the same old thing. You ain't got nothing to spice it up and nothing to keep it interesting. And so I think people like end up going like,
Yeah.
the spectrum because it's like, what do I do?
Yeah. And I definitely agree. I think you do have to keep an open mind. You can't be the person that's like, I would never, I could never, I would never, because what you're not willing to do, unfortunately, that's the reality, someone else will. Now, you should be able to have boundaries of like, this is a hard boundary for me. Like, I'm just not okay with that. Like, but you have to also be able to talk and communicate those things. You can't just live in your head like, oh, I'm just not going to say anything and he's going to know. Like, no, you can't, no one reads minds. And the same for men. Like, I feel like what goes on in the bedroom should stay in the bedroom unless it's like you're asking questions because you're curious. Like a guy doesn't want to admit that he wants to try maybe getting his acid or something because he's going to be like, oh, people are going to call me gay. But it should never get that far. It should just be between you, the person you trust, and that's it. If you're curious, talk to someone like me or, reach out, like whatever. But it's tough.
Yeah, and like Christina said, gotta try something new every once in a while, and that's true because it keeps the momentum going. It keeps everything happy because that sex is important. And I think a lot of people kind of forget that sometimes that sex is not the most. I did have to learn that sex is not the most important thing, but it is a big part of the relationship and of the home and everything. So you gotta be, fucking your man or fucking your girl because if not, they gonna go find it. They gonna go get it elsewhere. How do you create this culture upon your podcast that allows people, because with yourself, to be open? I know that's hard sometimes to kind of be open and being vulnerable, and I know that was probably like a little bumpy road for you. But how did you get to a point where you be like, you know what, I'm Dstany. This is how I feel. I don't care who got something to say. This is it. This is the truth, and this is what it's gonna be, whether you like it or not.
Honestly, it wasn't like that at first. I was just kind of like, I've always been an open book. Like I've always been like, oh yeah, girl, like, and people love that about me. But at first I was afraid. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna put this out there. Like no guy's gonna want to wife me, or like girls are gonna call me a hoe, da, da, da. But then I'm like, that's how I got the name actually, Horology, which I'll tell you about that later.
Yes,
But yeah, so after I got the feedback though from people that listened, and it was like people from that I never met, like in whole other states, like this like 50-year-old white man.
I remember the story.
He messaged me and he's like, I love your podcast. Like, I'm always interested in trying new things and you just give me the courage. And I'm like, people like really mess with this podcast. Like I'm inspiring someone. Like I am that voice for someone. And from that point, I was like, I'm on this. Like this is what I was meant to do because I'm comfortable with it. It's not like I'm like pulling teeth, to get the information out. And one thing I say to my listeners all the time is, you guys know I keep it real with you. I don't hide anything from you. I'm transparent with you because it's not like I'm seeing you or you signing my paychecks.
Not at all.
So
you're just gonna take it is what it is. How important is it, do you think, for couples to talk about their sexual preferences or like things they like during sex? I think a lot of people don't have a conversation. They just get in the bed and start fucking. How important do you think it is for couples to have that conversation, and when should they have it?
It is so essential in my Donald Trump. It is so essential for couples to discuss sexuality, sexual preferences before you have sex. Before. There's no reason that you can't. If you know that you're willing to give your body to this person, you should be willing to protect your body and protect your own health, period. Like, for example, I have a sexual trauma story with fingers. So I always tell anyone that I have sex with, like, please don't finger me. Please don't even put your fingers near that area because it will trigger me and I will like start freaking out and you're not going to understand why, but so avoid that. So if I didn't have that conversation early on and they did that, whose fault is it? But even besides sexual trauma, likes, dislikes, comfort levels, On the other podcast that I'm on, She's Got Something to Say, we talked about treating each body like the last body. And you can't do that because each person is different. They have their own style, they have their own motions that they prefer. So if you're treating each girl like the last girl, you don't know if she's getting satisfied, and then you don't know if he's getting satisfied. Maybe, one guy likes like a lot of spit, or another guy doesn't like head at all. Like if you just do it and you don't ask, like then you've wasted time, you've
I
wasted
like
each
my
other's
sloppy,
energy.
FYI,
We don't need to ask.
if anybody was inquiring.
But it's very essential, and it can be uncomfortable. It can be kind of like weird, like, how do you start the conversation off? You just be like, hey, like we should talk about, sexual health. We're obviously feeling each other. It's gonna go there. Let's just talk. And the same goes for like sexual health. You should be asking those questions like, when did you get tested? Like, how many people, well, we don't care about how many. But,
I mean, yes, I agree with you on that. I think before
you
that's
know,
another premature thing. If people don't have sex, and I think people, well, more so women get bashed about how many partners they have had sex with.
yes.
I mean, I think there's a lot to take into consideration, with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, to determine how bad her. But it should be with everybody. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
more frowned upon for like women. But I think there's some women that don't want a man that's been around the block with every female and been sticking his dick here and there. So it just again isn't brought too much attention as it is for women.
Yeah. But with that though, you never know. Like you literally don't know. I could say I've only been with 3 guys. Like
There's always
you literally don't know. You don't know. So he could say, oh, I've only been with 2 girls. Okay. There's no way to prove that,
Yeah.
So why does it matter?
No, that's fact. No, I get you on that. Now that's how it goes. So now you decided to name your podcast Horology. Why the name Horology? Which I like. It's clever. We get it. But why? What led to you clicking that?
So Horology basically was because I knew the podcast was going to be about sex and, sexuality. I was like, the one thing people associate with sex is being a hoe. So that's why I named it Horology, because we're going to study exactly what a hoe is. And it's really nothing. It doesn't exist because we're all participating in something that is defined as whatever a hoe is. So every time I've tried to ask someone, well, what's a hoe? They give me it's a female that sleep around with a lot of guys. Okay, so what's a guy? So what's a guy that sleeps around with a lot of girls? No. Tell me, because it needs to be if it's gonna be a word, it needs to be leveled out, right? Or the same thing across the whole board. You can never get that. Most of the time, it's aimed at degrading women and their choice to be sexual. So that's Horology.
I remember that we had that conversation. You like, so what did you like, Brandon? What's a hoe? And I was like, I gave my reasons. I know, but that can change from person to person like that.
We did have that conversation.
And I was like, I mean, this is what it is. And I was like, well, you said, but where's the proof at? Like, where's the facts? And I was like, shit, I don't know, society. Like,
and again, that goes back to the stereotype, the stigma. Like, it's just so ingrained in us. But I think the culture of nowadays of people just being unapologetically themselves has changed that. Like we're allowed now to be our true selves. So you're seeing these women come out and they're like, no, I like sex too. And what about it? And so now men are either super turned on by it or they're like, I could never date a girl like that. Da, 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 da. But then you listen to Future talk about taking 8 different pills, and that's okay. So
hey, King Future, keep his name out your mouth.
Whatever.
King Future. How do couples that may be wanting to spice it up, they may not know where to start. The man's thinking this way, the female's thinking this way. They both like, man, I want to spice up sex, but I don't know what to do. What do you think is a good starting point for couples to kind of figure that out?
I say, and this is what I think is the best way to do it. So each of you should get a piece of paper, your notes on your phone, whatever. Write down your fantasies. So you may not want to give him like your number one secret, like deep dark fantasy, but something you want to have a threesome, write it down. You want to try pegging, write it down. Like then exchange those fantasies. Give him your paper, give her your paper, and then pick which one that you guys think you can meet on, compromise, and do it. That's it.
Maybe roll the dice and then see whatever it lands on. Then, hey, that's what we trying tonight, baby. Just
That's
go
what we
for it.
trying tonight, girl.
That's what we trying tonight. Go ahead and get up in there. So a lot of
And
times people talk about spice things up. I think a lot of times, and maybe women, they think to run to lingerie. And you have a lingerie line.
I
So tell us a little
do.
bit about those. Tell us a little bit about your lingerie line.
Dose is my baby. So,
We know you
um,
love lingerie.
I love it. I love it. That is a very easy way to spice things up. Buy something lacy, sexy, you be feeling yourself, he gonna feel it regardless, and then it comes off, and then that's it. But Dose Intimates I started because I was when I do buy lingerie, I usually buy it online. I don't go to Victoria's Secret because they're dumb expensive, and it's like, girl, this is like no clothing. Why am I paying $50 for it? And I also noticed that there was no like plus size anywhere. So I decided I'm gonna do it for myself. And I already love, sexuality. I love enhancing the bedroom experience. So Dose was born.
And now you've had that for about how long?
I actually just hit a year last
You
week
just hit
on the
it.
19th. I know a year is like my magic number.
What is so outside? So I know you look at sizes. Is there any specific styles you look to do when you're thinking about creating your lingerie? Like when you're thinking about outfits and different styles, like what is it like? You like more lace? You like more see-through? You like more easy accessible? Maybe just pull the panties to the side, easy slip in. Like see. What are you? Do you have any specific strategies, or is it maybe just how you feel at the moment when you're trying to create?
So when I'm looking at my pieces, like for example, I have a flash sale that's going to be dropping these next 2 months. I'm
Flash sale,
selling.
flash sale, flash sale.
Stay on the lookout. I will be selling all of my inventory at like dumb low prices because my spring launch is coming. And so for that launch, specifically when I was looking, thank you, I actually hired a business mentor and coach, and she's been helping me. I have a virtual assistant now, so my company is growing. But
Yay!
thank you. So for the spring launch, though, I was looking at what I didn't like from my previous line, and how I could really step it up because there is more competition now. There's Rihanna's Fenty line is like booming because she's accessible, she's affordable, she is catering to everyone, similar to Dose, similar to the same mindset that I have. And there's another Black-owned lingerie company, and I love her work, but I wanted to still have my own like spin on it, so to speak. So I just looked at what I didn't want to repeat from the last line and how I could grow going forward. So lots of lace. I have some waist. I call them grippers. So they're harnesses basically that you wear so that when you're getting hit from the back, you just can grab on. I have a men's line
I was
coming.
about to ask
I
that. I was
do.
gonna ask. Can we get some briefs? Can I get some something? I will model
Yes.
for you. Let me know. I'm with it.
Yeah, so they're actually going to be, and I can't wait to the pics drop, but they're going to be satin like men's shorts, and they're going to have like a matching like his and hers kind of. So for a
Yeah.
date night, I have a lot coming out. I have like a monthly date night sticker that's going to be scannable for your phone. So every month you'll get like a new date night idea to keep it sexy, keep it fun. Not everything's going to be, sex, but it'll be just an idea so that it's fun.
You've been working.
You have no idea. Like
Yeah.
my business coach, she's on me. She's like, you got to do this, you got to do this, and I'm like, I'm on it. So,
I love it.
um,
I love
and
the
I'm
idea.
considering a subscription service too. So I
Like a
have a
little box
lot.
thingy.
Yes, that comes every month. Lingerie,
Mhm.
toys. I have so much. Like you have no idea.
I love
So
this.
much
Yes,
coming out.
I'm with it. I like it.
Thank you, thank you.
Oh, that
This
is
is my baby for real. Like, yeah.
that
Oh,
is
and if you haven't seen, on my plus size lingerie, I had a YouTuber review it. I think we're almost at 70,000 views now. So, and I've gotten so much business from that. So, all my plus size ladies, slide on over to Dose Intimates Instagram.
yes. We coming out with a
Yeah.
Netflix series next. Hey, right.
Look, I'm
I
trying to
love
get
it.
in my bag.
No, you got to, and that's really good. And again, you know, it's something that everybody talks about, and you help it keeping it interesting and keeping it spiced up. I love all the ideas you just share with us. We always get that exclusive right here live with
It
Lamar.
is exclusive. It is very exclusive because
I
my
like
mentor is gonna kill me because I was not
that.
supposed to tell
It's
anyone.
all good. See, I throw it and I reel it on in every time. I'm happy for you. Like, I'm really, really proud of you. Wow.
Thank you. We
I'm
have so much.
excited.
I'm like so excited for this. Like, I'm gonna just start sending you stuff as my like new male influencer.
Yes, please. I'm like, So how can people keep up with you? How can they keep up with you, your podcast, your lingerie line, the whole nine?
So for me, my personal Instagram, it's Dstany, Dstany.
Yes.
Don't fuck
She
that
had
up.
to be special. Y'all know how it is.
For my podcast, I don't have a separate Instagram yet. I will be working on that this weekend. For Dose, it's at Dose Intimates. We actually just got our LLC here.
Congrats, making
We
money moves.
official.
I love it.
So, hi person. But yeah, so Dose Intimates, if you guys want to shop, if you have a girlfriend or if you have a friend, a galentine, I'm gonna have like a girl on girl box. Not lesbian. It could be lesbian, but
It can be wherever you
it's
want to make it.
it's mostly for friend to friend. So I have a lot in store. So I would love to share that with you guys and have everyone just keep up with me and shop with me. And if you know anyone looking for something, the holidays are approaching and I'm affordable. So
There we go. Horology's on Apple Podcasts,
Apple
Spotify.
Podcast, Spotify. I'm working on getting on iHeart. If you could send me a connect with that. But it's very hard to get on
It is hard. It
iHeartRadio.
is hard. It is.
Yeah, and so actually for Horology, I have a new episode dropping about this weekend, Sunday, about my experience being a sugar baby. So yeah,
Okay,
which
little sugar baby.
I have lived a very great life.
I love it. Well, make sure y'all follow my girl, ladies, men, everybody. She got a lot of stuff going, and we keeping it sexy. Always keeping it sexy because why not? We all love sex, so we got to keep it interesting. So, Dstany, I definitely appreciate you coming through. Everybody that stopped by and is tuned in, any new viewers, make sure you follow me at Lamar Robinson TV and keep up with me as I interview other extraordinary individuals like Dstany. So, thank you. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. What are you being for Halloween this weekend? That's a good question.
I don't know. I don't have an outfit. Maybe
Me
I'll
too.
be
We
in somebody's son's bed, hopefully.
You too far from me, but with that being said, y'all have a good night and see us next week. Hey, I'm gonna upload it in a little bit so you can go back and watch it again. So you ain't missing nothing.
Please do.
So y'all make sure y'all go out, and with that, have a safe Halloween weekend. Take a lot of pictures, eat a lot of candy, all the good things.
I can't stand you.
Bye. Goodbye, Des.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bellow on the bellow.